Hi guys, welcome to Distilled Living with Thelma Zoa, where we talk about real life and break it down so we can level up. Let's jump in. Today's episode is called What's Your Handicap? Part 2. I'm not talking about this from a golfing perspective, but I want us to look at what are some of the things that are stopping our progress or success in life? And what can we start doing about it? This stuff is real. So let's shed some light on some of these things that are hindering us from maximizing our potential. In the previous podcast, we would have looked at some of the handicaps that are common. Things like doubt as a handicap, fear as a handicap, failure as a handicap as well. Let's continue with our list. And coming in at number 4, we've got people. Yes, people. Love them or hate them, people can put a handicap on your life if you let them. You don't need to dig deep. You can look at your life and see people who try to handicap you, be it a teacher, a friend, an authority figure, a boss, a relative, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and sometimes even a spouse. One of my favorite stories is about Albert Einstein and his elementary school teacher. His teacher practically gave up on him and sent him home one day with a letter to his parents saying that he was dumb and he could never learn and he would never amount to anything. Can you imagine how traumatic that would have been? Since Albert couldn't read, he asked his mother to read it to him. The story goes that his mother didn't read him the contents of the letter. Instead, she told him that the letter said he was so smart and that his teachers could no longer teach him, and he was going to change the world. Listen to that. He was so smart, and his teachers could no longer teach him, and he was going to change the world. Well, we all know how that story ended. A genius was born in Albert Einstein. That's a classic example of how someone, in this case, his teacher, can place a handicap on you. But in as much as this can happen negatively, the converse is also true, and we need to look at that. The right people in your life can help remove those handicaps. They can help propel you forward. See, this is why I always tell people that relationships matter. You have to take relationships seriously. They can either make or break your life. Wrong relationships can be toxic and lead you down destructive paths, or just leave you mediocre. Likewise, the right relationships can supercharge you into destiny. Those people can help unlock your potential because they can see things in you that you sometimes can't see in yourself. Think about it. Do you have friends or family members or people or colleagues who see things in you that you can't see in yourself and are constantly encouraging you to come up higher and to realize that potential? You see, in life, you can choose most relationships in your life, apart from your family, of course. You get what you get. But you can choose other relationships, and you've got to choose like your life depends on it, because it really does. Don't be afraid to outgrow certain relationships or certain friendships when they've run their course, and they're now just kind of holding you back, talking about the good old days. You see, I had friends like that where we'd been friends years back, but we continued to, connect and keep talking. And I noticed that all our conversations had one thing in common. It was always talking about the past, because that was the one thing that bonded us and brought us together. Yes, we had amazing past experiences together, but there was nothing else in the present or in the future that was compelling or moving our friendship forward. And in those cases, I started minimizing my time with those people because I had outgrown those friendships. Some friendships are not for life. They really are for a season. And you need to be able to understand what season you're in with certain people. So once again, never be afraid to outgrow certain relationships. Likewise, some people might, walk away from your life because they have noticed that, okay, our friendship have kind of run its course. Let it be. Don't fight it. It's okay. There are more people ahead. There are more relationships ahead for you that are the right ones for the season that you're going to be faced with in the future. So relationships matter. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to think about this. Are there any relationships that are handicapping you? Are there any relationships that are putting limits on you? And what can you do about it? What can you do about it? The next handicap that we're going to look at, coming in at number 5, this one's my favorite. It's environment. Your environment can handicap you. Yes, your environment can put limitations on you. Environments matter. I cannot stress this. Environments matter. We can see this very clearly when we consider the natural world, right? Every living thing is designed to thrive in the right environment. Think of a seed. It's loaded with potential to bear fruit, but if you place that seed in a jar, it just remains a seed. However, if you take the same seed and plant it in the ground under the right conditions, in the right environment, it will germinate and grow over time. It's the environment that unlocks the potential within. It's the environment that unlocks the potential within. Similarly, we can find ourselves in the wrong environments, struggling all the time to be who we were created to be. Sometimes we're in these environments by default because this is all we've ever known, right? And it's also even comfortable. It's our comfort zone. And these environments that we find ourselves in, they've shaped us and they shape how we experience and perceive life. They shape how, they shape what we do or what we don't do. That's the power of environments. But when we dare to change our environments, we can unlock the potential within us. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. See, growing up, my parents always tried to expose my siblings and me to better environments than we lived in. So we used to take weekend drives into upmarket neighborhoods just to see what was possible. Just imagine driving around where the rich folk live, just to see what was possible and what they were doing. Our parents worked really hard and sacrificed a lot so we could go to private schools and get a better education in a different environment than what they were exposed to. You see, they encouraged us to travel and send us to study overseas when we were young, all in a bid to expose us to new environments and open our minds to what was possible. See, I'll always be grateful for what my parents did in helping me understand the power of environments because it has shaped who I am today. Do you give thought to the environments that you find yourself in? Are you in the right environment to become the person you want to be? Often I intentionally look for professional networking opportunities to place myself in the right environment so that I can actually progress my career. See, sitting at home just watching Netflix for hours on end, that's not an ideal environment for my professional development. Do I particularly enjoy networking and speaking to random strangers? No, not really. In fact, I kind of hate it. But environments matter. I've expanded my network and built great relationships by placing myself in the right environment. Many years ago, when I was in my mid-20s, I remember I was working this job and I'd come to the end of my road with this job and I'd been there for about 5.5 years and I was like, okay, I gotta go. I was comfortable. I had great relationships there. The people loved me, but I was like, I'm not growing. I've maxed out. And I remember people always used to say, well, get another job before you leave. But I decided to jump. I took a risk and I jumped without another job. And it was scary. It was absolutely scary. And I didn't get a job quickly. In fact, it took about 3 months before I secured another job. And I was getting a little bit nervous during that 3-month period. But taking that leap of faith and changing my environment gave me an opportunity to work for a different company. And that company that I joined ended up changing the trajectory of my career. It literally was, when I think about it, it was a pivotal move that I had to make, and I changed the environment, and that changed the trajectory of my career. So what am I saying? Sometimes we need to have the courage to shift, to pivot, to change environments. Why? Because your life depends on it. Your potential depends on it. The environments don't have to be negative or toxic. It may just be that's not the conducive environment for what it is that you're carrying and what you are trying to unlock within you. The people might be nice. It's not that you're just running away from environments because people are bad or whatever. It's just that it might not be the best environment to be able to unlock your potential. I want you to spend some time to look at your life and consider whether you are in the right environment, and then make the decisions that you need to make in order to unlock the potential within you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this podcast has helped you, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.